When a woman felt depressed, she went to a river near her husband's farm, hoping it would make her feel better. Little did she know that she would find his diary over there, leading her to an unknown island. Before we continue, please take some time to subscribe to Dailydose, like, and share this video with your friends. It might brighten their day and inspire them to do good. Also keep watching because an important lesson awaits at the end of the video. Surrounded by mountains and lush green trees sat Taylor and Jordan's tiny house, where they began a new chapter of their lives. Their house looked ordinary outside, but the peace they felt while sitting inside was worth $1 million. The couple recently tied the knot, months after they met for the first time at a gas station. They fell in love at first sight, but Taylor's father didn't want her to marry Jordan because he was a farmer's son. Taylor, the daughter of the best lawyer in town, was impressed by Jordan's manners. He's such a gentleman, she thought when she first interacted with him while filling her Range Rover's gas tank. He was shabbily dressed, wearing worn-out jeans, a stained t-shirt, junky brown boots, and a cowboy hat. But Taylor didn't care about his appearance. She was swooning over him because of his extraordinary personality. Meanwhile, Jordan was shocked to see a rich woman talk to him so nicely. He lived on his father's farm, located 20 miles away from the city, where interacting with girls like Taylor was a rare instance. He couldn't take his eyes off her beautiful glowing skin. She was wearing a short skirt paired with a polo t-shirt, white sneakers, and a designer bag. Once Jordan and Taylor exchanged numbers, they went out on dates regularly. During each meeting, they would learn something new about each other and realize they would make perfect partners. Soon, the couple decided to get married, but were unaware of the hurdles yet to come. Are you going to marry the son of a farmer? He can't even afford the shoes you wear, Taylor. How will he keep you happy with no money in his pocket? Taylor's father asked when she told him about her relationship. Dad, I think Jordan is the right man for me. I have decided to marry him. It's final, the 4-year-old girl told her father. Taylor's father was against her decision, but she didn't care. She moved into a house she had inherited from her late grandmother and asked Jordan to move in. A few weeks later, Jordan joined her after selling a few pieces of machinery and tools from his father's farm. Once Jordan moved in, the couple realized they needed to manage their finances. Taylor worked a high-paying job, but Jordan wasn't earning anything since he wasn't working at his father's farm. "Why don't you set up a business, honey?" Taylor asked him. "A business? I'm a farmer and know nothing about running a business," Jordan replied. He believed he wasn't meant to be a businessman, but Taylor thought otherwise. She believed in his abilities and soon convinced him to start a small business with the money his late father left for him. To Jordan's surprise, his business gave him a good return during the first 2 quarters. Meanwhile, Taylor quit her job to open a cafe, hoping it would generate high revenue. When the couple thought their businesses were running smoothly, they tied the knot. They only invited their close friends and family and exchanged vows in an intimate ceremony. The initial months of their life after marriage were great. Jordan and Taylor cared for each other and spent a good time together. However, their marriage started going downhill when Jordan stopped going to work and his business was not profitable. At that time, Jordan spent most of his day with his friends while Taylor worked hard to run her cafe. She would return home every day to find Jordan playing video games with his friends, while the kitchen sink would be full of unwashed utensils. Taylor was fed up with his irresponsible behavior, and she often argued with him. Every time, Jordan would promise he would find another job, but he never kept his promises. Soon, Taylor realized her husband didn't want to work. He only wanted to stay home while she worked hard to make ends meet. As months passed, the couple started quarreling more frequently. Their neighbors would hear the couple yell at each other at dinner time, but whenever they would ask Taylor about it, she would lie to them to hide her differences with her husband. The young woman tried her best to save her marriage, but Jordan never understood her. He started thinking that she despised him because he was not rich. He thought she wanted to live with a man who would buy her designer clothes and expensive bags, but Taylor wanted nothing like that. Taylor was unaware of her husband's thoughts until they got into a heated argument. Towards the end of their fight, Jordan said something that made his wife burst into tears. "I know you don't want to live with a poor guy like me. You want a luxurious life and a man who can afford to live with you on an island," Jordan yelled. "I know I'm not the one you need." Taylor couldn't believe that her husband thought she wanted to live with a rich man. All she wanted was for her husband to find a job, but it seemed like Jordan misunderstood her feelings. "Go away, Jordan," Taylor said while tears rolled down her cheeks. "I don't want to be with you anymore." Taylor barged into her bedroom and locked the door. She spent hours crying on her bed because she felt hurt by Jordan's words. A few hours later, she opened the door and left her bedroom, but she couldn't find her husband anywhere. She looked for him in every room, but he was nowhere to be found. Where did he go? She wondered. However, when she saw his phone on the kitchen counter, she was sure he would return home soon. Feeling hurt, Jordan left the house after arguing with Taylor. He went to a nearby bar and cried his eyes out while sitting in a corner. While he was still thinking about his relationship with Taylor, he felt someone's hand on his shoulder. "Jordan?" A familiar voice asked. "What happened?" When Jordan turned around, he saw an old acquaintance of Taylor's father standing behind him. "Hey." "Nothing. I was just—" Jordan looked at the ground. "Did something happen between you and Taylor?" the man asked. Jordan looked into his eyes and nodded. Then, he told the man everything that had happened during the past few years. After listening to Jordan's story, the man shared his opinion. "Look, Jordan, I know you are furious right now, but think about your relationship with a calm mind. Do you remember the time you started your business? Who supported you the most? It was Taylor, wasn't it?" the man asked. "She knew how insecure you were about starting a business, but she still supported you. Your wife promoted your business and found new customers for you. She wanted you to feel happy. She wanted you to smile. She supported your business because she loved you, Jordan," the man continued. Jordan nodded and decided to go home and reconcile with his wife. However, when he reached home, Taylor said she didn't want to hear anything. "I'm done with everything, Jordan," she yelled. "Please go away. I don't want to live with you." Feeling heartbroken, Jordan packed his belongings and left Taylor's house without saying a word. He didn't tell her where he was going, nor did she care. However, a few weeks later, one of Jordan's friends contacted Taylor and told her something unexpected. "Taylor, do you know where Jordan is?" the friend asked. "I have nothing to do with him. How would I know?" Taylor replied in a stern tone. "I know, but I can't find him anywhere. He is not in your house nor on his father's farm. No one knows where he is," Jordan's friend said. Soon another one of Jordan's friends called Taylor and said the same things. When Jordan's friends realized he was actually missing, they filed a missing report at the local police station. Meanwhile, Taylor thought Jordan was following his heart. She remembered that he once said he would leave her and start a new life elsewhere. She believed he had disappeared to start his life from scratch. A few weeks later, Taylor was feeling depressed, so she thought spending time outdoors would help. During the initial days of her relationship with Jordan, she used to go with him to a peaceful spot near his farm. They used to sit beside a river and watch the sun go down. She drove to that place alone this time, hoping she would feel better. Once Taylor reached the spot, she parked her car and walked towards the river. Over there, she saw a boat tied to the ground, but what caught her attention was a blue-colored notebook. "That's Jordan's diary," she said and picked it up. When she opened it and read what Jordan had written, she understood where he was. In one of his recent memoirs, Jordan regretted fighting with his wife. He wrote, "Taylor was always right. I need to change myself and become more responsible. I think I should build a house on an island for her, as I said during our last argument. I don't know how, but I will build a house for her." A house on an island? Taylor wondered. She looked at the boat while thinking about Jordan's diary entry when she suddenly realized why the boat was there in the first place. She lifted her head and looked across the water flowing in the river. "The river island, Jordan must be there," she said. Taylor hopped on the boat without wasting time and crossed the river to reach the island. As the island came closer, Taylor saw a structure of a house. Once she got to the island, she headed toward the construction site and saw Jordan working there. "Jordan?" Taylor looked at him with eyes wide open. He was mixing cement in a bowl and had splashed some of it on his clothes. "I knew you would find me," he smiled. "Why are you doing this?" "I never said I wanted a house on an island," Taylor shrugged. "When I thought about the time we spent together, I realized you don't need money." "I was wrong," Taylor said. "You needed happiness. You needed love. So here I am, making this beautiful house for you." Then, he handed a magazine clipping to Taylor. "Remember this house? You always said you wanted to live in a house that looked like this." He pointed towards the house on the paper. Tears started to trickle down Taylor's cheeks when she realized Jordan was making the same house for her. She also felt glad that he finally realized money was not what she wanted. "I always wanted to tell you that you can make me happy without money as well. Your actions are enough to make me smile, Jordan," she said. Once Jordan had finished his work, he asked Taylor if she wanted to visit his farm. When she agreed, he took her there and showed her around. "I am planning to restore the farm. Do you see the land there?" He pointed toward a field. "I have planted some vegetable seeds there." "That's great, Jordan. I'm sure you will do a great job," Taylor exclaimed. Then, Jordan took her to the other side of the farm and showed her the cattle he had bought. "I am going to bring more animals here. My dad loved raising different species of chicken and cattle on his farm." After visiting the farm and meeting Jordan, Taylor realized he had changed. She felt he had become more responsible and was passionate about reviving his father's farm. Soon, Taylor moved in with Jordan at the farm, and they lived a peaceful life together, away from the hustle and bustle of the city. They enjoyed playing with animals, looking after the crops, and fishing in the river. A year later, Taylor's biggest wish came true. She was pregnant with her first baby. 9 months later, the couple welcomed their baby boy into this world and lived happily. What can we learn from this story? You can be rich without having a lot of money. Jordan and Taylor's story teaches us that one can feel rich after experiencing different things. It's not always expensive clothing, house, and cars that make you rich. Sometimes, having certain people and experiences in your life can make you happy. Difficult situations teach you valuable lessons. After living away from his wife, Jordan found time to reflect and realized that he needed to change. He would never have understood what Taylor wanted if he didn't leave his house. Share this story with your friends and family. It might inspire them and brighten their day.